new show on the CW network that you must be watching. It's called The 100, and we have great news that it has just been renewed for a second season. We have a great guest on with us. He's going to talk about the show and his character a little bit. Sachin Sahel. How are you, sir?
Good, brother. How are you doing?
Oh, we're so blessed, and thank you for fitting us in, and it's such a treat to get to talk to Dr. Jackson about this great show. What a cool concept. I mean, is that kind of how it was when you first read this? Was like, man, I got to be a part of this.
Yeah, everybody that read for it, I remember being, we were talking with everybody that was auditioning, and we all thought that this was just, we saw that when we read the pilot, we saw it had so much potential. We knew, because, I mean, they could do anything. This is like a whole new world, and it has so many allegories to what's going on in the world now, and we just knew it had so much potential, but to be honest, I didn't know what they were going to do, and I didn't think they were going to go this. I didn't know what they had up their sleeve, and once we start reading these scripts, it just gets insane. We would sit there by our scripts every day, and we would get the new one, and we read them and think, how is this, where are they coming up with this stuff? I want to be in the writer's room and figure this stuff out.
For those of you that aren't familiar with the show, The 100 takes place 97 years after a nuclear holocaust. Basically, the Earth is completely devastated, and they've dropped 100 juvenile prisoners onto Earth and just, hey, listen, repopulate the Earth if you can. And you play Dr. Jackson, so give everybody a little idea of the dynamics from your standpoint, because you're like, they got to try to take care of these humans from a medical standpoint. You're kind of working with Dr. Abby on that. So what is your role in this little mini universe?
Well, I think because I'm Abby's apprentice, so I'm basically trying to learn everything that I can. But we've been thrust in this ridiculous, this insane circumstance where we're on the clock. Because we're running out of oxygen. So he's got to learn on his toes. He's got to learn everything right now and learn things that nobody else might even know. Because Abby is running the show here. This project to send the 100 down is her baby, basically. And I think when I look at it, Abby's doing her job to protect the 100, trying to protect everybody on the earth. I think Dr. Jackson's role, while taking care of everybody else, is to try to make sure that Abby is okay and she doesn't get run down or she doesn't lose her ability, because she's so necessary to everybody on the ark. She's taking care of everybody, and without her, nothing works. So I think as the apprentice, it's his job to make sure that she is as functional as possible. Are you
a big fan of these sort of apocalyptic shows that have become real popular, especially over the last 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, I mean, I love sci-fi in general. I like the old school shows a little more. I mean, it's a little harder to watch nowadays, I mean, time-wise. But I do wish I could watch Walking Dead. I mean, I love Game of Thrones. But back in the day, they had, like, Battlestar Galactica. I mean, you had your Star Treks. You had your Star Wars. You had your Lost. These shows are all definitely intertwined. Because the creator, Jason Rothenberg, loved those shows. So basically, you're now getting a guy who loved all those shows, and he gets to create his own little fun house. In the 100, and that's what we're getting, and that's why it's so good.
And because the world is sort of gone, you're kind of recreating this, there really are no real rules, right? The only rules is going to be what the writers create for themselves, correct?
Absolutely. We're in a completely new realm right now, which is why, like I said, I remember reading the script, me and the cast were reading episode 7 when we got it, and we thought, how are they going to come up with any more ideas? Because in about 7 episodes, we've done more storyline than most shows do in about 2 seasons. But then we get 8, and then we get 9, and then 10 to 13, and we are dumbfounded. And it's nice to see that they are presented as good as when we first read them. Because, you never know. It's hard to be objective. But now watching them, I love the show. I love it. It's fun to watch for me, even.
If you have not caught this, you can go on demand online. You can watch it there. The finale is not set for until June 11th, so we still have some catching up to do if you'd like to get in on The 100. It has been renewed for a second season, so congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're all really happy about it.
And as I understand, one of the cool things about this show, which is a little bit different than others, and maybe you could speak to that even, but is they film very quickly, right? This filmed very fast compared to, say, other shows.
I don't know if this is something they necessarily did on purpose, the producers and the writers, etc., but maybe they wanted us as actors to feel the clock as well. I mean, there's so much that we're on a clock for the for space. It's in the Ark. We don't know what's happening on the ground. So, and on this show, nothing stops. I tell everybody that I think commercial breaks on the show are strictly there so that the audience can breathe. So I don't know if that was their tactic for us to make us feel it as well, so that we'd have to, feel that urgency. But yeah, we film each episode in about 5 to 6 days, and there's a lot going on because there's a lot. I mean, we have two different sets. We have the outside set, which is basically just in the Vancouver wilderness in North Vancouver, and then we have the set, which is the Ark. So we're jumping all over the place, running around, but they do it in such a beautiful, meticulous way that everything that needs to get accomplished gets accomplished, and then we get the product that we create.
And I know we're not done with the season, so I know you're probably. I'm asking a little bit of some landmines here, so I don't want to get you in trouble. But now we have a second season. I mean, what goes ahead? I mean, how do you even foresee what happens on a show like this? Because it's just like there's really not a fence to build from to know what cannot happen. So it's a little hard to predict, other than just more uncertainty, more characters, more.
I'm really going to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm really going to be honest with you. I have no idea. I did not know that this show was reading. Like I did not know what they were going to do with it. I just knew we had an epic potential because it's a whole new world and there's so much to work with. There's so much clay to mold, per se. But I couldn't have predicted the stuff this season, the stuff that is going to happen. So there's no way for me to even fathom what could possibly happen in a season 2 on a show like this. So just whatever you're expecting, do not expect it, because it's going to be crazier.
That's part of the entertaining aspect, in my opinion. But
yeah, I love it.
The CW really does an incredible job of sort of like keeping it in the family. I mean, you're not the only one, but you're definitely an alum of this whole. You get a couple little bit parts on Smallville and Arrow and Supernatural, and now you're on like the show, the series. So they do this a lot. I mean, how does the CW approach things? And I'm only asking you to contrast that because I know you've worked with Fox and some of the other networks as well.
Yeah.
How different is the CW? Because they do this a lot. It's a lot of sort of in-house casting, promotion, cross-casting, those kinds of things.
You know what? I couldn't really tell you. I auditioned for it like everybody else. I auditioned for every role that I ever got, like everybody else. So maybe I couldn't tell you what it's like behind the scenes, but maybe they saw something and they decided, yeah, he would be good for this. But also call him in for that and see what he does with it. I think maybe it's always giving people the opportunity once they know that you've been on a show, because they've cast you before and they liked you in something before, so why wouldn't they like you for something else? That's maybe a little larger or maybe something a little different. So I think they just present the opportunity, and then it's our job to show them that they were right to give us that opportunity.
Once you knew you had the role of Dr. Jackson and kind of something like this, did you do really? Is there research or anything you do to kind of help bring this character to life and kind of get your feet wet on something like this, or are you just kind of like, I'm just go ahead and tell me about that?
Yeah, for sure. He's a doctor, so I wanted to learn as much as I can about just being a doctor. I mean, I played an orderly in a hospital before, so I kind of did a research on that before. But playing a doctor, and it's different though because it is 97 years afterwards. So a doctor up there in the Ark would have to know everything. I mean, they'd be a general practitioner for everything, surgery, because there's not hundreds of doctors walking around.
There's no specialist, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're not a specialist. You can do everything. It's your job to know everything. So, and on set, whenever we do surgery or anything like that, we do have professional doctors there. But I mean, again, we have to keep in mind this is 97 years later. Things are going to be a little different. But in terms of preparation, yeah, it was very much similar to many other characters. I think if you think about it, if you start thinking that, we're in space, we're in an Ark, we're doing all this stuff, you can start making it a cliche or making it weird. But he's just a guy. He's just a guy that seems to be in these crazy circumstances, and he happens to be a doctor. So preparation, I think, has got to be the same. Just understand your circumstances and understand what's happening, the insanity that's happening around you.
Because of the shows that you've been able to be on and this great cast that you're with now, is there anybody that's kind of giving you some advice or anybody that said anything to you that's kind of like been, really helpful? You're kind of got that tucked away as some really cool advice so far?
You know what? I am lucky to be the young person working on the Ark because most of the kids are on the ground and they're phenomenal actors. I mean, watching them every week is insane. But I'm up in the Ark, and I get to work with Paige Turco in every one of my scenes. I get to see Henry Ian Cusick and Isaiah Washington. And on a regular basis, these three are just the most inspiring, helpful, and they're just forward-speaking individuals. That's the best way I can explain them. They're there to help everybody because they've been around the block. They understand everything, and each of them has given me. I mean, Paige in a scene has helped me through certain moments because most of my scenes are with her, and we work on a relationship constantly. And she's trying to make it as real as possible. I mean, Isaiah is always talking about the positivities in life and trying to maintain yourself and be true to yourself. And Ian Cusick is just the most optimistic. He brings you up. He makes you feel like you're a champion and you should be proud to be where you're at. And you get to see it every day of the work that they do because they know what they're doing. So I do feel blessed to be working with them.
Wow, that's incredible. That's great to hear. And, it's just such a cool concept, and it's great to know that we have a second season to look forward to, folks. It's called The 100. It's on the CW Network Wednesday nights at 9. You got to catch that and get ready for a second season that they'll be looking at. The finale is set for June 11th. Sachin, before I let you go, there's some cool. I know that anti-bullying is very close to your heart, and I'd like to give you a chance to kind of speak about that and what you do to kind of help others and inspire others and kind of help promote change in our culture and our society.
Absolutely, I'm glad you actually asked that. Bullying to me has always been kind of a deep-seated issue. In that I was kind of a bigger kid growing up. I mean, I'm lucky I had a nice family base and friends to kind of get me through that, but a lot of kids really don't. And I see kids, my little cousins or my friends' little brothers and sisters, that these kids are growing up and they are a full epic potential. They have a potential to be anything in this world. And if they are silenced because of bullying or they feel like they can't shine for the people that they are, at that time, it's done for the rest of their life. And we in this world don't have room to waste potential because we have so much to do, So I think it's just important for us to make kids knowledgeable that they should be talking to people, they should get out there, and if they're being bullied, to say something. And it's also important that we tell the bullies the issues, because when you're a kid, you just do stuff. You don't necessarily think about the ramifications. We have to let them know that it won't be tolerated, and most importantly, we have to make them feel empathy for what they're doing, because again, they're kids. They don't know what they're doing necessarily and how badly they're hurting somebody. I've been a part of a couple organizations. There was one called Justice Theater where we do mock trials for kids in schools and have the kids be the jury and define whether or not this bully was innocent or guilty, and how the accused felt and how the victim felt through everything. So we went to about 120 schools a year to do stuff like that. It's just something that's very close to my heart, and if I get a little bit more of a voice, I will definitely voice it louder and louder.
Wow, that's great. And just such a, sadly, a growing problem that maybe has always existed and we're just not quite as aware of, but it's changing so much because of the technology. I know is definitely contributing.
Exactly. It's just so much easier to do. I mean, it's to not have to talk to somebody face to face and say something rude about them and have them not have any idea who the person was that said it. It just makes it too easy. Yeah. So we have to find a way really to make sure every kid gets an opportunity to shine.
Fantastic. Sachin, thank you so much for fitting us in, and I'd love to talk to you again maybe after season 1 wraps so we can kind of know a little bit clearer how we can discuss the last few episodes of the finale.
We'd actually talk about some stuff, yeah.
I know it's tricky, but then we'll have a little bit clearer picture about what we can expect in season 2, but I wanted to fit in a chance to talk to you. The great news that broke that season 2 has been approved, and congratulations to you and all your castmates. And hey, tell them, listen, they got an ear here if they want to talk to the Dispatch, because we love the show and love to talk to them. So you take care, my friend.
Love it. Absolutely. You too, man. I can't wait to talk to you again.
All right. Bye-bye.